Good morning, friends. It's with immense gratitude that I have you here watching and practicing yoga with me on Moxie. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. Today's class is going to be a slow flow yoga with an emphasis on lateral stretching. So that'll be stretching our side bodies. And without further yakking, we are going to get to our practice. So let's go ahead and come onto our backs, and we'll have our knees bent and our feet grounded. And we'll just take the first few moments of our practice to become grounded and centered. When you think of becoming grounded, you might focus on your lower three chakras. Your chakras are part of an energy system that runs through your body from the base of your spine to the crown of your head. So in practice, whenever you're thinking of grounding, you'll be rooting down through the base of your spine, which is your first chakra, your root chakra. And then as you move up, you'll be also grounding through that sacral chakra. That's in your low back region. As you move upward from the low back into the abdomen, we come to the solar plexus chakra. And that's a nice place to find your center, the center of your being. Let that region of your body relax. And begin to notice the breath gently rising and falling here at your center, your solar plexus. This is my favorite chakra because it's your region of personal power, your self-empowerment. It's also the color golden yellow and solar meaning sun. And I am a sun lover. So another reason for it to be my favorite chakra. So being grounded and centered is not just a practice we do during yoga. It's a life practice. So throughout your day, kind of check in and notice if you're feeling grounded to Mother Earth and centered within your being. Let's move up into the heart chakra next and find a sense of loving awareness. Within that loving awareness, remembering that your heart is open to both give and receive. Let's climb up a little higher in the chakra system to our throat chakra. Let's relax our throats. This is your center of truth. Not only speaking your truth, but your thoughts and actions, being truthful, living your truth. Moving up into the space between your two eyebrows, your third eye chakra. This is your center of intuition. It's when your being is offering up to you those gut instincts. Make sure that you tune in and listen to that intuitive talk that's coming to you from this third eye. Our final chakra within this system is the crown chakra. This chakra opens up to the heavens. It actually opens up to another set of chakras. This chakra helps you connect to your higher power, whatever divine it is that you honor. So as we move into adding movement to our breath, the first practice can be done either with your knees bent and feet grounded as we are now, or if you like, you can extend your legs out long. So the knees bent would be the more modified position. And we're going to do a practice called the wind relievers, which begins in the upper body. So as you find your inhalation, slowly take your arms up and overhead toward the earth behind you. On your exhalation, you'll bring the arms back and hug that right knee into the chest. As you inhale, we plant the foot and take the arms out and over. Exhale, whoops, left knee coming in. And inhale, again, arms over. So you can see that your legs could be extended long if you like. Exhale, bring the right knee in. And inhale, arms over. Exhale, left knee coming in. Inhale, reach it over. Exhale, right knee comes in. Let's stay with it. And on an in-breath, start to extend it. And on the exhale, bend it. Again, breathe in as the leg goes up. And breathe out as you bend. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Keep that knee to the chest and rotate that ankle around. Go both ways with that rotation. Let that foot rest, and on your in-breath, let's take the arms back overhead as you plant or land the right foot. Exhale, here comes the left knee into the chest. With your in-breath, let's go ahead and lengthen, and then bend. Breathe in. breathe out with the bend. Breathe in and out, staying right here. Knee to chest, rotate the ankle. And go the other way. Rest the foot and ankle with an in-breath, arms coming over. Keep the foot grounded. And with the exhale, let's just bring the arms both back to rest alongside the body. At this point, if your legs were long and extended, why don't we meet back with the knees bent and the feet grounded? We're moving into our bridge. So we'll ground through the feet as we inhale, lifting the hips and rolling up the spine. On the exhale, let's release. Repeating that bridge, inhalation upward. And exhalation. Again, rise with your in-breath. Release with the out-breath and stay here. Let's go ahead and bring both knees up toward our heart center. And on the inhale, this time we'll extend both our legs. We warmed them up individually, exhale, bend, but now we're putting it together. Inhale, both up again. Exhale, bend. Inhale, up. And exhale, bend. Let's stay right here and do a little bit of rocking from side to side here on your back. And then eventually go ahead and roll to one side. We're going to come up and meet in the table pose. So as I mentioned, today we're going to have a little emphasis on stretching our side bodies. So the first practice involves that. So from our table pose, we're going to slowly turn the head and look over our right shoulder. We're going to let that side of our body come into a curl, the shoulder and hip coming toward each other. The lateral stretch is on the left side of your body. As you take an in-breath, come back to the table, finding neutral. As you take your out-breath, now we'll switch. We'll look over the left, but again, kind of think of a side curl on the left, feeling the lateral on the right. Inhale, come back to front, stay right here. Exhale, draw the hips back for child pose. Inhale, come on back up to table, and we'll repeat that. Exhale, looking over the right shoulder, curl right, lengthen left, feel the head neck. Inhale, we're back at neutral. Exhale, we're going to look over that left shoulder, curling left. Inhale, we're back at front. Child pose is your exhale, take it back. Inhale up to the table. We'll do this one more time. Exhale, looking over the right shoulder. Inhale, back to front. Exhale, looking over the left. Inhale, front. Child pose is your exhale. Let's inhale and come on back up to table. So just a quick side note. When you're getting ready to do your Moxie, feel free to go ahead and put some nice music on to listen to, maybe light a candle so that your environment feels yoga peaceful, zen for you. All right. So next up is cow-cat. On an in-breath, the belly starts to release downward. The tailbone lifts as well as the heart and head. On the exhale, cat pose, draw the belly up, round and tuck. As you inhale, coming back to cow, shift your weight forward. And as you exhale, going to the cat, shift your weight back. Again, inhale, shifting forward, a rocking cow cat. Exhale, rock it to the back for cat, belly in and up. Inhale, coming to the cow back bend, we're forward. Exhale, countering it with the cat, shifting back. Again, inhale, shift ahead. And exhale, last cat, shifting back. Inhale, we'll come to neutral table. And on our exhale, we'll go back into that child pose, Balasana. So I'm going to roll my wrists out a little bit, just because we've been in table for a while and my wrists are asking for it. So feel free throughout our practice to listen to your body. And if you need to take any special stretches, you go right ahead. It's your practice. All right, we're coming back up to our table. And from table, we're going to find the good old downward facing doggy. Let's pedal it out. So just alternate, maybe pressing one heel and lifting the other. We're taking our dog for a little walk. We're waking him up. Ooh, I think my toes just cracked a little. Feel those feet, ankles, calves, hamstrings. Let's reach both back toward the mat now. Do your best. And then travel it up, forward fold, otherwise known in Sanskrit as Uttanasana. It's a fun one to say, Uttanasana. On an inhale, come up to a half Uttanasana. And on the exhale, back down again. Oh, yeah. On an in-breath, let's slowly rise up, reach for the sky. On the out-breath, here we come into mountain pose. Root through your feet. Feel your root chakra, your sacral chakra, grounding you. Feel your solar plexus chakra, centering you. And then from there up, everything's lifting through the chakra system, from the heart, throat, third eye, and crown. So you've got a sense of both grounding and lifting at the same time. Let's inhale, upward arms and hands. Exhale, here comes Uttanasana again. Inhale up to a half fold. And exhale back down. We are going to step our right leg back for a lunge. We're going to let that back knee land. And how about we untuck the toes? Now, if you happen to have a block handy and you'd like to grab it, you could put it over on the right-hand side. From here, we're going to come up to a tall lunge, and we might be using that block in a little bit. But first, we're going to do some rotating in our lunge. So bring your arms out almost like helicopter wings. And let's first rotate toward the left. This one's a little harder. And then slowly come through and rotate to the right. Again, coming back through and to the left. and then coming back through to the right. Let's do one more. Rotate to the left, and then rotate to the right. Now, if you tip left, you can put your hand on the block or the floor and maybe bring that right arm up to the sky. If that feels like too much, rest your left forearm on your thigh and bring the arm up. So you got a couple options here. From wherever you're at, let's come back down to find traditional lunge. And we'll take our left leg back for plank pose. Now, most of you know that I like to bring my plank down to my knees, but you can do it however you like. Let's exhale and meet the mat. The tops of your feet are grounded as you inhale, rising for cobra. On your out breath, we're coming to down dog, and you can feel free to stop at that table pose on your way through. It's only down dog number 2, so feel free to pedal it out again if you like. I'm a little bit tight up where my hamstrings meet my glutes, so this down dog feels pretty good. We're going to be coming back to lunge, so I'd like you to come to table first, and then we'll bring that right leg up and through. Last time we took it back, so we've switched sides. Now again, if you have a block and feel like putting it on that left side, go ahead. But we are going to make our way up tall like we did on the first side, and we get to play helicopter again. So we'll bring our arms out to the sides. We're going to start by rotating to the right this time. And then all the way through to the left. Hello. Let's go right again. And back through to the left. One more time, rotate to the right. And then last time, left. So this time, if you like, you can tip down, letting your right hand find the block. Or, again, if that feels like it's a little bit deep, just bring your forearm to the thigh and smile. Let's slowly come back down, finding lunge. If you have a block, you can move it out of the way. And we'll step the left foot up to the right, and we'll be back in Uttanasana, forward fold. With an in-breath, let's start to rise up and reach up. With the exhale, land at your heart center. Ground, center, and lift from the heart up. Inhale, upward arms. Exhale, find the earth. Inhale, rise up to a half forward bend. And exhale, back down. Let's take a big step back with the left foot and leg for lunge again. Now, whenever we're in lunge, you can choose to have that back knee lifted or lowered, but you do want to keep your hips lower than your shoulders. So if you happen to be kind of tipped up like that, where your hips are higher, try stepping back and maybe just letting your knee come down and see how that feels for you. All right, so from here, we're going to take the right leg back for plank. And again, I'm dropping to both my knees, but you can keep your knees lifted if you like. Engage your core and slowly release. Inhale, rising up for your cobra. Exhale, follow through to down dog. Now we're going to sneak a pose into this sun salutation. So I'm going to have you come back down to your table and then walk your table up toward the right-hand corner of your mat. And we're going to line this pose up along that long edge on that right side, balancing side plank. So we're going to take that left leg and we're going to extend it back nice and long. And then that foot is going to turn so it's going the same direction as the short edge of your mat. You'll notice that I brought my left hand up to my hip. And then from here, if you like, you can bring the arm up. Now, if you wanted to do a full balancing side plank, you would take that bottom leg out with the top leg. I'm going to come back in to modified, and then we're going to turn this into a lateral balancing side plank by taking that top arm over the head, reaching toward whatever side wall you're at, looking down at your bottom right hand. Feel the lateral length running all the way up that left side of your body. Let's slowly bring the left hand back to the hip and we'll pivot back over to the table pose. We'll pick up our second one right away. So you can walk up to the left-hand corner of your mat. Take your right leg extended back nice and long. Remember to turn that foot so it's parallel with the back edge. Bring your right hand to your hip, opening your body up. Again, maybe you'd like to extend that left leg out long. From here, you could bring the right arm up. And then maybe you want to turn it lateral by bringing the right arm over the head and gazing down at your bottom left hand. Go ahead, start to make your way back and find the table pose. All right, we're going to finish up this sun salutation by bringing the left leg up and through for our lunge. And then we'll step together, forward bend. With an in-breath, we'll rise up, reach up. And with the out-breath, we'll land at our hearts. All right, I hope that balancing side plank went okay for you. We are moving into some standing poses next. So let's release the arms, and we're going to start by walking the left leg back. And we're going to travel back probably about 3 good steps, and we're going to open that left hip. Your right leg is facing straight ahead, so your toes are pointing toward that short edge of your mat. Your shoulders are over your hips, and as we set up for our warrior 2, we want our shoulders and hips kind of lined up with your long edge, but not directly, more at an angle. All right, so let's bend the front knee. Look down, it should be over your ankle. And then where's your torso? Did you lean forward or are you smack dab in the middle? Let's go ahead and find our warrior 2 arms. We're going to come in and out of a pose called the extended side angle. So on an out breath, you're going to tip right laterally, placing your hand on your thigh and reaching over. But then on your in breath, lead with your center and come back to the warrior two. Let's go again. Exhale, tipping right, reaching over. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, here's our last one. Let's stay with it. Now, instead of hand on thigh, you could drop down to forearm on thigh. If you had your block handy, I'll sneak mine in, you could take that bottom hand and arm down to a block, which will take you a little deeper even in to this extended side angle. So lots of options, all the way from hand on thigh to forearm on thigh to hand on block. Some people may even take their hand to the floor. All right, let's slowly turn this into a lunge by pivoting down, facing front. Woohoo! From here, plank pose, right leg back. Choose your option and take it to the earth. Rise and let that heart shine for your cobra. And exhale through its downward facing dog. So just so I'll be able to face you, I'm switching my down dog around for when we do our next warrior two. So I just switched my head and hands to the back end of my mat. And you can do that too if you want to be able to face your screen. I'm going to travel my feet up to my hands for forward bend and smell this lovely candle that I have burning. It is mint and basil. Doesn't that sound yummy? Not that I'm going to eat it, but let's inhale. Take it all the way up. And exhale. Land at your heart. All right, how about we pick up that warrior two on our second side? So this time the right leg is going to be the one that's traveling back. And if you're ever wondering how far apart should my feet and legs be, you could do a little bit of a measure, wrists over ankles. So remember, we are opening the right hip. We're keeping the left leg facing forward. Let's start to ease into that warrior two on our second side. Shoulders relaxed. And we're going to tip left into that extended side angle. So while we're moving back and forth, you might just want to put your hand on your thigh. Inhale. Here's our warrior two. Exhale, flowing back through extended side angle. And inhale, warrior two. Last time. Exhale, here we go. We're going to stay hand to thigh, forearm to thigh, a block, or maybe even reaching for the floor. So many options. Let's rotate down into the lunge. And step together, forward bend. Inhale, take it to the top. And exhale, find your heart. All right, I'm going to travel back to what I'm calling the front end again. And each time I switch is just so that my back isn't to you. So we're back up at the top, and we're going to be doing a little bit more standing work. So find your mountain pose. Let's travel the left leg back again. This time we're setting up for triangle. So it's the same foundation as Warrior Two. The right leg is straight ahead. The left hip has opened, which means your foot has opened as well. So try not to lock your front knee. If it's locked, it's pushing back. That's what it looks like. So you want to have a little bit of a bend in it. And let's go ahead and bring our arms out. So on your out breath, you're going to begin to tip to the right. Maybe your right hand lands on your thigh or your knee or your shin. But then on our in breath, we're going to windmill through to the reverse triangle. On the exhale, let's come back into the triangle. On the inhale, back up. On the next exhale, come into triangle, and we will stay for a bit. Find a smile. Breathe into your center. Engage your core. Inhale back up to the reverse. Let's release and rotate to face the long edge. Hands are on the hips. We're going to move into a wide-legged fold. So as you find your out breath, start to hinge from your hips and feel free to bend those knees. You can keep hands on your hips. You could come down to having your forearms on your thighs. If your block was handy, you could bring that in front and put your hands on that. Or maybe you're going to find the earth. So find whatever is serving you. And I'm going to build one option in. Now, this option is primarily for people whose hands have met the floor. Otherwise, you might not want to try this wide-legged dog. It's up to you. So we walk the hands ahead, and then we press back through the hands so that our hips are reaching up and back. Our sits bones are reaching up and back. And this is our wide-legged downward-facing dog. Let's slowly come back into just neutral wide-legged fold. Then we're going to spin this around to face the front edge of the mat and come into lunge. Let's take the right leg back for a plank. Choose the plank that serves you and exhale to the earth. Inhale for your cobra and exhale, downward dog. So just like on side one, I'm changing my downward dog so that my hands are at the back end of my mat, so that as I move into the standing poses, I'll be facing the screen. Let's travel up, forward fold. So being down here on the end with my candle kind of reminds me of something funny. When I first started teaching, I actually started one of my socks on fire in a candle during a class. It was kind of crazy. I was able to put it out right away, but the room smelled a little funny. Let's inhale and rise up, reach up. And exhale to your hearts. I think everybody was in Shavasana when it happened, so they all started to kind of wonder what the smell was. All right, let's release the arms. We'll walk the right leg back. We're going to set the foundation up for triangle. So again, you're going to open that right hip. So when you're coming in and out of triangle, imagine that there's a wall right behind you and almost like you're leaning up against it. Arms out. As you tip left, imagine that your back body is up against a wall. So try not to tip forward too much. And then inhale, reverse it to the top. Exhale, come through again. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, last triangle, Trikonasana. Let's go ahead and hold this one. Breathe. If you're feeling stable enough and you'd like to look up toward your top, go ahead. Remember, try not to lock your front knee, and your back body is leaning up against that imaginary wall. Inhale, slowly make your way all the way up and through to the reverse triangle. Exhale, release. Rotate to face the long edge. And instead of a wide-legged fold, let's walk our feet together. And we're going to come down right here onto our hands and knees for the frog pose. So let's have our knees on the mat and maybe your hands out front on either your carpet or your floor, depending on where you're at. So to come into frog, your big toes are going to stay touching each other and you're going to walk your knees apart. Then let's bring it lower down to our elbows and forearms. I don't know if I'm still in the mat, in the view. I'll come back a little bit. Then, once you've arrived down on your elbows and forearms, see if you can get your knees to move maybe a little further apart. And start to draw your hips back. Go ahead and come forward again. And then rock it back. One more time, shift your weight ahead. And then shift back and take a few breaths. I'm getting excited about hearing the frogs singing, but with this new layer of snow that we just received, it's probably going to be a little while yet before they start chirping. We could do our own chirping. Come on, you guys can chirp too. All right, let's start to come back up, maybe onto the hands. Start to walk those knees back to table. And then we're just going to spin that table around so we're facing the front short edge of our mat and we're coming into child pose. So just go ahead and draw those hips back. Let's walk our child pose over to the right and go ahead, bring your torso and trunk with you. So a lateral pose of the child. Go ahead, walk it through the middle and over to the opposite side. Remember to bring your torso and trunk with. And travel back to the center. Let's go ahead, come back up into table, and from here, we're going to have a seat on our seats. So if you like, you can grab a blanket to put under your sits bones. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Today I'm going to play with it. What we're going to be coming into is wide-legged position. So again, feel free to prop yourself up on a blanket if you like. All right, so we're going to do a little bit more lateral stretching. Let's begin by taking that right arm up and over. So your left hand is helping you to stay balanced. We're getting a stretch up that right side. And then if you like, you could even turn your head to kind of look more up. And then slowly come back to center. Nice. Let's switch sides. So left arm coming up for your lateral stretch. Breathe. And return. Nice. Let's come front and center now. So keep your sits bones grounding and just reach in front to whatever serves your body. And then go ahead and walk it up. Let's bring the bottoms of our feet together. For the cobbler or the butterfly, maybe bringing the feet in a little bit closer to your body. And then gently, maybe just kind of lift and lower like the wings of a butterfly. Keep your shoulders relaxed. And then if you like, letting the knees release toward the earth, maybe tuck your chin. Draw your navel back toward your spine. And then we'll start to close up our cobbler like a book closing up. And let's go ahead and come back onto our backs again. Can have your knees bent and your feet grounded. And we're going to move into a few release poses next. relaxed. So feel yourself settling onto your mat. Now, let's go ahead and lengthen the legs out nice and long. And just like in the beginning of our practice, as you find an in-breath, let's slowly take our arms all the way up and overhead again. As you exhale, bring the arms back and hug that right knee into the chest. Stay here. Now, I'd like you to hold on to that bent knee with your left hand and just let your right arm rest on the floor. Use your left hand to gently draw that leg across your body. And then if it's comfortable for you to rotate the head to the right, go ahead. So they often call this one the corkscrew release because maybe from above your body looks kind of like a corkscrew. Go ahead, come on back. Hug that knee into the chest. Then let's land that foot, extend the leg out, take those arms overhead again, full length body stretch. Exhale, this time the left knee is coming in. The right hand will hold on to the bent knee. The left arm will rest. We'll use our right hand to gently draw that leg over, rotating the head left. Slowly bring everything back to neutral, hugging that knee in. Bring the other knee up to join it. Let's extend those legs all the way up again. Hold here, kind of press your heels toward the ceiling. Let's bend the knees and plant one foot at a time. We're going to do one more release to each side of the body. So let's go ahead and cross the left leg on top of the right, arms out to the sides. We're going to allow the legs to go toward the right and the head toward the left. This is our cross-legged release, but the legs don't have to stay exactly crossed. Feel free to allow those legs to kind of just release any way that feels comfortable for you. Bring your head back to neutral first. Engage your core to help you lift those cross legs back to center and take them apart. This time, let's take right on top of left. The legs are releasing to the left, and then the head can roll right. Again, just allow yourself to surrender here. So each week I plan to record a new Moxie. That's kind of been what I've been doing. And I believe if you're a subscriber, you get an email notifying you when I put a new Moxie up in the library. Let's bring the head to neutral and then slowly bring those legs back to center and uncross. All right, both knees coming up toward the heart, hands on the kneecaps, and we'll draw circles up on the ceiling. You'll notice that I like to end class by drawing circles on the ceiling just because it's a nice little massage for that low back. Go the other way. So if there's ever a practice that you'd like me to focus on or some poses that you'd like me to do, feel free to message me and let me know. Hug those knees in and then plant one foot at a time. From here, we'll go into a short Shavasana. So if you'd like, you can go ahead and grab your blanket, or maybe you're cooling down and you'd like to grab your socks or maybe a sweatshirt or sweater, and then just find a comfortable position lying on your back. So go ahead and start to settle in. Grounding yourself to the earth. Notice every part of your back body that is connecting to Mother Earth, and see if you can let yourself release and settle even a little bit deeper. Soften all the muscles. It's like your muscles are just draping around the bones. The facial expression is soft. Allow yourself to melt into your mat. Begin to have unity with your breath. Allow the breath to help you surrender into this practice. Physically connect to the breath. Feel the rising and the falling. Mentally connect to the breath as if you're witnessing each breath with your mind coming in and out. So both your physical and mental awareness are on your breath. As you continue to rest in Shavasana, I'm going to share a little reading with you. It's called Seeing the Bigger Picture. Seeing an image of the planet Earth taken from space inspires awe in many of us. This is because we can clearly see the connectedness of all of us who live on this planet. It's us who have created imaginary boundaries, sectioning ourselves into countries and states, forgetting that in reality, we are all living together, breathing the same air, drinking from the same water, eating food grown from the same earth. We share everything on this planet for our survival. Any sense of separation we have from one another is truly an illusion. The simple act of preparing food or determining how to dispose of our refuse can be done with consciousness, because whatever we do affects everyone. When we foster this kind of conscious awareness, it becomes easier to continue to be conscious instead of falling back into old habits and thinking of ourselves as only separate beings. We are connected to one another because we literally share the Earth's living space. As more people become aware of the reality of our interdependency, things will begin to shift in a positive direction. And much of the discord that we see now will give way to a more cooperative, loving consciousness. This is beginning to happen already. So as our consciousness grows, we can join with others, and our minds can work together to live in the spirit of togetherness. So if you're ready to slowly make your way up and into seated pose, you can join me. If not, just continue to rest as you are as I close our practice. Let's honor this yoga practice and the practice of yoga. And remember that yoga is a life practice. It's not just something we do on our mats. We want to try to practice staying grounded, centered, moment, but not just living in the moment with loving awareness.